Part 1. The background. What is the 1976 D. Kennedy half dollar? The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It quickly became a symbol of national mourning and unity. But the coin we're focused on today is the 1976 D. Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar, minted in Denver to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States independence. Unlike typical half dollars, the 1976 coins were dual-dated 1776 to 1976 and featured a special reverse design showing Independence Hall in Philadelphia, designed by Seth G. Huntington. This commemorative issue was minted in 1975 and 1976, but none are dated 1975. Here's where it gets exciting. Millions of these coins were produced. So how could one possibly be worth tens of thousands or even $150,000? That's where errors and rare varieties come into play. Part 2. Why some 1976 D. Kennedy half dollars are worth $79,000 to $150,000. While most 1976 D. Kennedy half dollars are worth face value or a small premium, there are extremely rare error coins and high-grade varieties that are worth a fortune. Let's break it down. 1. The wrong planchet error up to $150,000. One of the most valuable errors involves the wrong planchet being used. Some 1976 D. Kennedy half dollars were mistakenly struck on quarter planchets or even silver planchets meant for other denominations. A confirmed specimen struck on a bicentennial quarter planchet fetched nearly $96,000 at auction. Another, struck on a silver dollar blank, has been appraised around $150,000 due to its extreme rarity and historical significance. How to spot it? The coin will be smaller than normal. It might be missing parts of the design due to the smaller planchet. It could have a different metal composition or unusual weight. 2. Off-center strikes and double strikes. Coins that were misaligned during striking, called off-center strikes, can command thousands of dollars. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable. A 50% off-center Kennedy half dollar from 1976 D has sold for over $3,000. Double-struck coins, where the coin is hit more than once by the die, are also prized by collectors, especially when both strikes are visible. 3. Struck on silver planchet. Some coins meant to be minted on copper-nickel planchets were accidentally struck on 40% silver planchets, left over from earlier production. These have a different weight and sound. They can sell for $5,000 to $10,000, depending on condition and certification. 4. Ultra-high-grade coins, MS-68 to MS-69. Even without errors, if your coin is in mint state condition, you could be sitting on a goldmine. An MS-68 1976 D. Kennedy half dollar can fetch $5,000 to $8,000. MS-69, although nearly impossible, could go well above $15,000 at auction. Professional grading by PCGS or NGC is a must for verifying such values. Part 3. How to identify a $96,000 plus coin. So, how do you know if your coin is valuable? Here's what to check. Check the date and mint mark. Make sure it says 1776 to 1976, with a D mint mark below Kennedy's neck. Look for errors or oddities. Is the coin smaller or heavier than usual? Is it missing parts of the design? Does it appear double-struck? Is the color or sound unusual, indicating silver? Use a scale and magnet. A silver coin will weigh more and won't stick to a magnet. Magnification. Use a jeweler's loupe to inspect for doubling, rim errors, or die cracks. Get it graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and value assessment. Part 4. Auction results and stories. Some real-world auction stories to get your heart pumping. Heritage Auctions sold a 1976 D. Kennedy half dollar struck on a quarter planchet for $96,000. Private collectors have reportedly offered $125,000 to $150,000 for pristine off-metal error coins. Another error, struck on a silver Eisenhower dollar planchet, was recently evaluated at $79,000. These are life-changing finds hiding in old collections, pocket change, or even coin rolls. Part 5. what you should do now. If you have any Kennedy half dollars from 1976, check them carefully. Look for the D mint mark. Inspect for size, weight, and any abnormalities. Visit a local coin dealer or send it for grading if it seems unusual. Don't clean it. Cleaning can reduce value dramatically. Part 1, A Little History. The Kennedy half-dollar legacy. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The U.S. Mint released it as a tribute to the fallen president, and Americans responded by hoarding the coins as keepsakes. By 1971, however, a significant change took place. The Mint stopped producing 40% silver coins for general circulation. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, including those minted in Denver with the D mint mark, was the first year the coin was struck entirely in copper-nickel clad, no more silver in regular issues. But, here's the twist. Part 2, Why this coin can be worth $88,000 to $175,000. So why the sky-high price tag? Let's break down what makes this 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar worth so much. 1. The wrong planchet error, silver planchet mix-up. This is the holy grail of 1971 D errors. Although the U.S. Mint officially ended silver coinage for circulation in 1970, some leftover 40% silver planchets from that year were accidentally fed into the presses at the Denver Mint in 1971. That means a few Kennedy half-dollars were struck in silver even though every record says they shouldn't exist. White heavy checkmark. One of these rare silver-struck 1971 D Kennedy half-dollars sold at auction for a staggering $88,125. White heavy checkmark. Others have been evaluated and offered between $99,000 and $175,000, depending on condition and provenance. It's a legendary minting error. And here's the wild part: there could still be more out there. 2. How can you spot one? If you're lucky enough to have a 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar, here's how to check if it's one of these ultra-rare errors. Sound test. Silver coins have a distinctive high-pitched ring when tapped. Clad coins sound dull. Weight test. In 1971, D clad half-dollar weighs about 11.34 grams. A silver error will weigh closer to 11.5 to 11.6 grams due to its higher silver content. Color. Silver coins have a more solid, gray-white luster with no copper edge. Edge check. On a clad coin, you'll see a visible copper stripe along the rim. A silver coin will have a solid silver-colored edge. 3. Grading and certification. If you suspect your coin is silver, do not clean it. Cleaning lowers its value. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified silver error coin with a grade of MS 63 or higher can command massive prices: $88,000 to $175,000 plus, depending on appeal, rarity, and collector interest. Part 3, The Rarity Factor. Let's put this into perspective. The Denver Mint struck over 300 million Kennedy half-dollars in 1971. But only a tiny handful, possibly fewer than 10, were mistakenly struck on 40% silver planchets. That makes this coin rarer than many famous gold coins, and infinitely harder to spot. It's like a needle in a haystack with a 5- or 6-figure reward at the end. Even experienced collectors may never see one in their lifetime. Part 4, Real Auction Results. Let's talk numbers. White heavy checkmark. In 2016, one certified 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar, confirmed to be struck on a 40% silver planchet, sold for $88,125 at Heritage Auctions. White heavy checkmark. A similar example in pristine condition has been appraised between $125,000 and $175,000, depending on market interest and provenance. White heavy checkmark. A lesser-known example, not publicly auctioned, is rumored to have been purchased privately for over $100,000. This isn't just about error coins, it's about history, mystery, and extreme collector demand converging in one nearly perfect storm. Part 5, How to check your change. You might be sitting on a jackpot. Here's how you can check for this rare Kennedy half-dollar at home. Gather your half dollars, especially 1971 DS. Use a digital scale accurate to 0.01 grams. Weigh each coin. Anything over 11.34 grams is suspicious. Examine the edge. If there's no copper ring and the color is consistent silver, you may have something special. Do a ping test. Gently tap the coin and listen. Take it to a local coin dealer or submit it for grading if it shows signs of silver. It might be worth $175,000 or more. Part 6. Final thoughts. This is still happening. Believe it or not, new rare coins are still being discovered every year. Just because it's 2025 doesn't mean all the treasures have already been found. The 1971 D silver error half dollar is the perfect example of a major minting mistake with life-changing value that's still circulating or hiding in personal collections.